Alright guys, we're gonna hit some legs. I'm gonna be 100% with you. My knees feel like crap. So, we'll kind of use this as a warm up. I'm not planning on going heavy with it or crazy with it, but maybe it can help get me ready for the other pressing motions in the workout. So. Alright. Last of these are still fun to eat. But I think we'll be safe to move on to some leg press after this. Hopefully. That leg press feels pretty good even on a bad knee day, so. Alright, so we'll see how heavy I end up going on this, but I'm thinking just doing what I have been doing on leg day. Ooh, 1.5 reps. Chasing a good pump. Still getting a good workout without having to push crazy weights. I hear Jimmy's mom likes guys with thick thighs, so we gotta hit legs today. Croissant. Ooh. All right. Ooh. Keep it in quads for a little bit longer, and then we'll move on. All right, we'll give the quads a break. We'll hit some hamstrings. No, for doing my chows. Then this for hamstrings today, since last leg day was a hamstring focus day, but whew, at least hit these. All right, last set of this. Whew. Ooh. All right, like the previous leg days, we're gonna use these for single leg, more of a lunge or Bulgarian split squat, almost imitation. See if this is actually all the way at the bottom first. Where's the handle? There we are. Yeah. All right. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and do 2 all-out sets to failure with both legs. Ooh, I'm going to do my 1.5 reps. Keep a good quad pump going. Ooh. Alright, call me a glutton for pain. Maybe I'm a masochist when it comes to leg day. I don't freaking know. But, go ahead, 2 all-up sets of leg extensions, superset, with body weight to failure. Just 2 sets. And then we'll hit some calves, something nice and light to finish off with. And that will be a leg day. I might need an ice bath after all this. I'm just sitting there and never come back out. Oh yeah. One more. Ooh. Ooh. Alright, we're gonna finish on the calf raise machine. Ooh, and call it a leg day. So, ooh. It's been a good leg day. Very, very exhausting. Exhausting leg day. Oh, almost failed. I fired and I missed. I fired and I missed again. No, it's a good leg day when you can't even get your leg over your seat without almost eating it. About took the whole thing with me. Okay. Oh God. All right, one more goes and we're calling it a day. All right, let's set these. Ooh. I've successfully, I don't know about yours, I've successfully turned my legs into a bowl of jelly. Ooh. Big old bowl of sugar-free cherry Jell-o. All right, good leg day, guys. Ooh, proud of you. See you in the car. All right, guys. So I do want to say before we get into this that I had a realization. I'd made the joke like, "Ooh, I'm the king of losing my sunglasses." I know exactly where they are. They are sitting in the back of a church van. Took them off and sat them in a seat and left them there. So need to get those back. But back on topic. That was a pretty freaking good leg day. Oh, definitely a lot more than I thought it was going to be. But I was just kind of feeling it, you know. Like, my knees kind of sucked today, especially towards the beginning. But like, we started on squats, and I honestly think that squats is just something that I'm going to have to force myself to start doing it, because I genuinely think if I get back into doing them and get back into, doing them regularly, that I can build them back up, and that will actually help my knees get better as well. Because that's a pretty, hard compound movement, and it is one of the things that does bother my knees like the most, is squats. So, but like, I think it'd be good to get back in doing them. We'll see. It definitely depends on my knees. If it's like, hey, we put them in every other leg day, or like once, pretty regularly, and it seems like my knees are getting better, awesome. If it seems like it hurts like heck, and I'm better off just using the machines, then I won't. But I really want to have them in my arsenal again. Like, I do. They are great compound movement. It's just right now my knees are so bad, I can't go heavy on them. So today, using them, I just watched somebody drive over a very obvious curve. Anyways, I won't be sexist for a second. Are you a woman? Yep. Okay. Just a little sexism for the channel. But I would love to get squats back into rotation. But using them today as like a warm up before we actually got into everything else was kind of nice. Like, there was a lot of knee discomfort, but like not enough that I couldn't do the squats. And it's been a while since I can really say that, so it was nice. Brandon did kind of want to hit at Cuba, and I told him, I was like, dude, my knees are already kind of iffy today. But like, all the machines at Robin's gym feel like really good on my knees. All the machines at Cuba kind of hurt my knees. Even on like a good day, they cause like discomfort. So like, it would just be a day where I'm not even pushing any weight at all. I can't even get a pump, and you're doing like 20, 30 freaking reps just to try to feel something, and your knees are giving out and feeling too much pain before you even have a pump. And I was like, I want to go to Robin. I want to hit up there because it just has better machines, especially for my legs. So ultimately, that's where we went. Had a good freaking workout. So very happy with that. It was definitely way more quad focused, but I mean, that's how the full leg days are gonna be. It definitely almost became just a quad focused leg day, but obviously I don't want to neglect calves. But so calves were probably happening either way. You can go. No one's coming. But yeah, hitting hamstrings was one of those things I was kind of back and forth on if we were going to do, because our last leg day was a quad focus leg day, and it was an extremely good quad focus leg day to the point that me and Brandon were both talking about how much our hamstrings were hurting and cramping and stuff the days following that workout. But we ended up hitting a set. At one point, I almost wanted to cut it at 3 sets. If you watch, I pulled the pin on that 4th set and dropped it from 110 to 90, because all those previous sets were 110 pounds. And at the very end of the 3rd set, I was feeling a cramp in the back of my hamstring, right at the insertion in my knee. So the bottom. So think of your right. You got your glutes, hamstrings. So glutes, insertion of the hamstrings, back of your knee, insertion of your hamstring. And so the one in the back of the knee was feeling a pull, and I was not again. It was kind of cramping, and so I was kind of iffy on if we'd hit a 4th set. And so I walked it off, came back, hit that 4th set, just dropped the weight, and ended up fine. But definitely probably need to give hams a break, and just have a full-on quad focused leg workout next leg day. So no hams, no calves, just quads. But obviously we got workouts to come before then. Tomorrow we'll be back in By. Me and Brandon said we'll just hit it up here at Rollo, which makes sense. We pay good money for these memberships, so Cuba, we get that membership for free because I come over, clean the gym, and work around and do stuff for them and run their social media. So we get those memberships for free anyways. So we pay for our ones in Rolla. It's more convenient for Brandon when he gets off work anyways. So that's the plan. Same gym we were at today for back and By. I just got to figure out what that's going to look like. So I'm thinking more in the realm of maybe 4 or 5 back movements and 3 or 4 bicep movements. Something too crazy. But we'll see for sure. Definitely feeling a little lower back discomfort lately. But last leg day we did the stiff legged deadlifts, which kind of gets my lower back going sometimes. Then I had a pretty decent back day immediately following that. And then today, doing squats, I always feel a smidge at the, after a good set of squats. Yeah, I always do. Even if I'm ultra focused on my form and really making sure not to do anything to put any strain on my lower back, I still feel just a small lower back pump. So I almost want to do more row focus tomorrow for back, but we'll see what happens. But I did talk to Cuba's gym today. Went by and cleaned and everything before me and Brandon came up here, and the whole thing with me pretty much getting freaking the workaround and getting kind of screwed, not getting the manager position after literally being promised it in front of a group of people. But I talked to him and said, can I train people here? And they asked me if I was certified. I was like, yes, I'm certified through the ISSA. I got certified in 2019, had to renew it. I think I had to renew it every 3 or 4 years, whatever it is. Something stupid like that. But I am certified, and I would love to start training people. I think a lot of the people at that gym know me. They've seen my journey from 300 to Dick 190 or whatever. And so they know I've been there. They know I've lost the weight. They watch me train Brandon. Brandon was like 135 when we started. He's like 175 now. So he's put on 40 pounds in the past 3 years, 3 or 4 years of training. And so it's like, I do know what I'm doing. I do. Now, you know, I've been training for so many years that I kind of have to experiment with my diet and exercise and training and see what my body is going to respond to best. Because the closer we get to the show, the more I need to understand about my body and how it responds to stuff, because I got to start cutting drastically. So definitely trying to figure that out. My body normally responds super well to low carb, but it just seems like it hasn't worked as well this go around. Like I'm seeing some progress, but not the progress I used to see when I was younger. So I don't know. So definitely got to figure out what's going on there. Should probably get one of those like food tests where they test like what foods are good and bad for you, and like what causes like bloating and blah 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 in your body and all this stuff. I can't even figure out what the test is, but it's like ultra specific. Where they're like, oh, these are the foods you should probably just outright avoid, and these are the foods that your body responds really well to. I'll see. Obviously, I really don't have the money sitting around for that right now, but we'll get there. But no, I asked them about training people there, and it's amazing how this girl who's freaking weaseled her way into the manager position, and then weaseled her dad into the evening manager position, which is funny because that gym never had a evening manager. It was one manager, and he was there when his clients were there, and he showed, he went and did his own thing throughout the day afterwards until, maybe someone calls or texts and like, hey, can you meet me to renew my membership? I just got off work, and he'd show up. And this chick, it's like, one, her dad hasn't been in there a single time for the evening managing. So I've had to go down there and let people in and promise them that this chick will fix their card the next day. And it's like, I'm doing all this crap for freaking free. And, initially I started doing it because I was promised that manager position. Like, hey, let's get everything situated and then you be in the management. And I wanted to prove to the owner that he didn't make a mistake, and I worked my rear end off. And then you just let them talk him into giving it to them. And this chick just so clearly doesn't even want to do it, always saying, I don't care, and, if so-and-so wants their membership, they need to be there before 5:30. People have jobs. I have to break it to you. People have jobs, and most of those are like 9 to 5s. They aren't fortunate enough to work for their dad's family friend like you do, where you can just show up to the gym at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning and then go back to doing whatever the heck you want to do. That was Brandon going at 90 miles per hour past me on the interstate. But he was laughing. Look at him go. That's my boy. But it's been frustrating. But I asked the chick about training, and she goes on this big spiel of, well, we got to make sure the gym could actually run on its own and blah blah blah, which is fine because it's been doing it for 5 years just fine. If a manager who didn't care, that wasn't running it very well, that chased off a lot of the females, and come to find out he was like stealing money from the gym as well, like on the side, and it was still able to make enough money to self-sustain itself and pay its bills and blah blah blah. So it's like, you don't need to take the next 2 months or whatever to figure out, is the gym making enough money to sustain itself? You already have the answer. It can't, because not drop any names, but the last manager was paying the bills and then just taking the rest of the money the gym had and take it for himself. So it's making enough for a man to pay for his house and 3 vehicles and his steroids and yeah, his food and everything it can live off of, plus paying its own bills. So it's like, I don't think we need 2 months to figure out if it can do it. We already know it has. The gym's been there since the 90s. You know, it doesn't. It's not like it just opened and we need word of mouth to get out and about it. So it just baffled me. And so I just sighed because I'm like, you're gonna make this harder than it needs to be. After literally watching the owner tell me I can be the manager, and then going behind my back after that conversation and getting yourself that position. Okay, what a weasel of a human being. And then she always smiles, pretends to be so nice while I'm in there cleaning, doing her job. But so I was like, what if I paid rent to the gym to train people? And she goes, well, I'm listening. I said, what if I do like 10% of my income that I make training people here goes back to the gym as rent? And she's like, do you think you get enough clients? I was like, well, let's see. Everyone here walks up to me and tells me I should be the manager because I was doing everything here under the last manager to the point he called me his assistant, and there were people who legit thought I was the manager until they met the old manager. You know, they see me doing it, and I've had people say, I'm going to talk to that owner and tell him you should be the manager, not so-and-so, and it's like, don't do that. So I was like, people kind of like, they followed this manager from his last gym he worked at to this one and gave the gym more people. A lot of those people know me and like me will stay if I'm there. Like, I'm not trying to like, hype myself up a bunch, but like, genuinely, those people who like, followed the old manager over from his last gym to this one like me and have said they want to see me become the manager and blah blah blah. So if they see me in there cleaning and like, training people, even if I'm not the manager, they might actually like, stay. You know. And I said, and plus the gym has no manager now because the manager, or it has no trainer now because the trainer was the manager. They didn't have like, multiple people working there. It was just one guy, and he was the manager and he was the PT of the gym. And so all those people are out of PTs now. He's gone. There's a manhunt out for him with no bond. He's going to jail. You know, like, they don't have PTs anymore. So if you don't find a replacement for him to continue offering that service, those people are going to go somewhere else. Because those people are going to the gym for a personal trainer. Now, I'm not going to promise that they're going to yike me as much as they yiked the last guy. And I get it. I don't look like a PT because I still got weight to lose. I get that. But, you know, I've always prided myself on maybe I don't look like it yet, but I've proven that I know how to do it because I've done it for myself. I've done it for a friend who lost a bunch of weight and I was bulking back up. I did it for another friend who's bulking up. I did it for Brandon. Did it for when my brother first started going to the gym with me. He shredded a lot of weight off and then he stopped going to the gym and put it all back on. But like, I have proven time and time again, whether it be with myself or with other people, that I know what I'm doing. And, you know, these people have seen Brandon gym with me and put on 30 pounds. These people have watched me train myself and lose 100 pounds. So, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I may not look like a roided up a-hole like the old manager who looks like he could step on stage if he just dieted for a few weeks, you know, because he's taking growth hormone and everything else. And he did outright tell me he was taking those things. That's not just an assumption. But, yeah, it's like, I get it that, you know, I don't look like your traditional idea of what a PT should look like, because everyone has this idea that personal trainers are going to be people who clearly work out, who are super fit, super lean, maybe even look at bodybuilder show ready, if not like a calisthenics kind of guy. But they look aesthetic, they look like they work out. And then there's me who looks like an average Joe. It's like a dad bod who goes to the gym. And it's like, and I get that. But I've always prided myself on the point that most, not all, but most personal trainers were never fat. They were always like these skinny kids, or like these kids who were like already naturally pretty lean with like a decent base of muscle, who just got like super jacked, or like just started going to the gym. But like for most people looking for personal trainers, and we stop walking in the road, please. It's like all these people who are looking for personal trainers are typically looking for personal trainers to lose weight. They're not looking for PTs, just like, to do a bodybuilding show. They're not looking for PTs to do calisthenics. They're not looking for personal trainers to do. God, what am I thinking? Most people in the gym aren't even like hard gainers looking to put on muscle. 9 times out of 10, the people who actually like hire personal trainers at a gym, at least at the gyms around here, have all been people looking to lose weight. So I've always prided myself on it. I know what that takes. I know what it takes, and I also know how hard it is. And I know like that everyone's different. So like the diet protocol is going to look different for someone else compared to what it looks like for me, right? But you can have that PT and nutrition certification all you want, but actually using that and experiencing it, having experience with it, in my opinion, trumps that. You can come out with all the information in the world, right? But if you don't actually understand what it's like to be there, you can't really help someone else get through. And I will say this: the guy who was a personal trainer before, it wasn't terrible. But here's the thing: he was a skinny guy who got huge. So this other guy at the gym they trains that started off skinny got huge, because that's what the last manager / personal trainer had experience with. But this chick that's been training for like 3 years now said in total, like when she was on her own, just like dedicating herself to a diet and working out on her own without a trainer, she said she had gotten down to like 170, which is like the last she's ever been, and then she kind of got off track and got back up in like the 200 somethings. And she said with this guy, she only lost 20 pounds, and then she put 15 of it back on, and she hasn't been able to like, lose weight since. And it's like, did he not come to you and like, say, what's going on? Are you eating? Is he holding you accountable? Is he making you track things and then tell him like what you're eating? Is he giving you a meal plan? Is he adjusting your training to adjust for it? Maybe if he's having you go super heavy and like training the way he trains, blah blah, and the way he trains everybody he trains, maybe he should give you lighter weight and higher volume to burn more calories, and then make sure you're getting your cardio in, because clearly what you're doing isn't working. Now, in theory, and not in theory, but science suggests that the more muscle mass you have, the more lean muscle tissue you have, the faster metabolism will be, the more calories you can burn through. So in theory, good hypertrophy training, good weight training, coupled with cardio to burn more calories, is like the recipe to success. But at the same time, everyone's different. Women are different than men. What's worked for me? Good hard weight training and cardio. For her, it might be like, hey, let's lighten the weight. Let's only do so many exercises. Let's, just burn through calories. Let's just burn through calories. Clearly, the other way isn't working. But that's just me. But I talked to him, offered to pay rent, to use the gym, to train in, and all of a sudden she went from very uninterested to, ooh, that might work. And, and I told her, I was like, because her original excuse before I offered to pay rent was, oh, the gym has to make so much, and we gotta make sure people are gonna stay and blah, blah, blah. Well, you can retain a lot more people if you're still offering what you've always offered. The moment the old manager / PT is gone, you guys no longer offer a personal trainer because you don't have one. So people who are there looking for a PT, yes, they're going to leave. All those clients he has at like 8 a.m. to noon will leave because they were there to have a PT. They were paying a PT to meet there and train. They had a membership at this gym because it offered a PT. And if you are genuinely looking to keep those people, you need to get a PT in his place. Just saying. Like, it's not just about benefiting myself. Like, I care about the gym. Like, put the fact that I need a job aside. Put the fact that I want to be a personal trainer and I've chased that dream for years and I've had my certification for years and know what getting a personal training job at any gym. And it's probably because they take one look at me when I come in for my interview and go, how on God's going to offer you a PT, you fatty? But like, put all that aside. I care about the gym. I could have asked at any point. The owner was right down the road from the gym. Hey, I know you let so-and-so train here and be the manager. You want your gym to have 2 trainers? I'm certified. Could have done it at any point. I'm doing it now when there is no trainer, and having one could help retain the members that they could lose, that they're saying they could lose. Like, they're acknowledging that it could happen. It's like, okay, I'm giving you a possible solution to that. Like, yeah, it benefits me because I could finally start my personal training business. So I've trained Brandon, like I said, a friend who lost weight and is currently bulking up. Another friend who lost a lot of weight, but I think he also just happened to have a growth spurt at the same time. A buddy who's bulking up, a friend and his son. So 6 or 7 people, excluding myself. But like, that has all been because we're friends. You know, they paid me like $20, and I gave them a free month like workout plan, and then a breakdown of like what their calories and macros should be at the very end. And then if they wanted to, like there's a breakdown at the end of my programs that say, you know, when you get done with this program, if instead of wanting to come back and pay for another one, just do the program again, but with this rep and set scheme instead, because now you're no longer an amateur lifter. You've been doing it, you know, for like 3 months, and we want to continue to advance and improve. So let's, you know, change it. I think it was like 4 sets of 10 to 12 for the first 3 months, into 4 sets of 8 to 10, into 3 sets of like 5 to 8. That way they could have like a whole 9 months where, in theory, especially since almost all of them were new to the gym, not only are they getting the newbie gains, but they're also doing something to continue to progressive overload on all these lifts. And anyways, what's you guys don't come here to listen to my training theories, or to listen to me ramble about crap like that. So yeah, talk to him about possibly training. We'll see what happens, but tomorrow's back and by, and I'll see you then. Do all the things in the description. Same thing as always. Harder than last time. Code Jazz15. Merch. Instagram, TikTok, all the fun stuff. See you guys tomorrow for back and by.